Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 7 of Fancat podcast. This time, our guest is Gobeyond Cosplays. Gobeyond Cosplays, they're a cosplayer and they also make comedy skits on TikTok. They also have an Instagram where you can find a lot of their cosplays. It was very fun having them over. This episode is a bit different from what we usually do. We usually record this podcast live. Fancast is a live podcast recorded every Sunday at 4 p.m. BST at twitch.tv/HappySweetCast. This was my first time doing a pre-recorded podcast. I'm sorry if the audio is a bit buggy. I really hope you can enjoy it anyway. You also have amazing cosplays. You are a very good cosplayer. How long have you been doing that for?
Oh my gosh. I did my first cosplay when I was, I believe, 13 years old. So, that would have been 2008. I'm 26 now, so it's been approximately 13 years. And I've been in and out of it a little bit. It hasn't been a continuous just stream of making cosplays. But I've been in and out of it for about 13 years, and I started taking it seriously, big quotes on that, but seriously, in the last, I want to say, 4 years.
So, like, you're a professional cosplayer at this point. You have been doing it for a very long time.
Well, I wouldn't count myself quite as a professional, but there's a international costumers guild that oversees a bunch of competitions and whatnot around various conventions. And according to the Canadian circuit, and under the International Costumers Guild, I do count as an international master, which is just a ranking after you've done certain competitions and won certain awards. So I at least have that title.
That is that is actually amazing. What is like your favorite cosplay you have done? You have done quite a lot of them. What is like your favorite one?
Oh, good question. It changes pretty often. I think right now it's the costume I'm working on at the moment, which is Molly Mock from Critical Role's second campaign.
Oh, that's very
Yeah,
cool.
very involved, and I think the reason that my favorite changes so often is because it it's really about what kind of skills I've been working on recently and what costumes I feel exemplify those skills the best. And right now, I feel that Molly is a very good representation of my current skills and what I've been trying to improve on in the last little while.
I'm very sure a lot of us are gonna wait patiently for that cosplay to be done. But like aside from like your favorite cosplays, every single cosplay you do, like there are a lot of details put into it, like a lot of work. What are your like favorite details that people may not be able to see like at the first glance when they see one of your costumes? I saw you did a Wally video for your Wally cosplay, but for example, in you also have like a Reki cosplay. What are like some the details you put a lot of effort in that people may not have seen at first sight, but they still cost immersion for it?
Oh, I don't know that Reki in particular has a lot of details because a lot of my Reki stuff is just kind of pulled from my closet. But I think the
You know,
thing
it
that
was
I
like an example.
yeah, um, I think the thing I'm most proud of overall in like not necessarily detail, but things people may not fully take in that I've been trying to incorporate into a lot of my costumes now is this sort of staying true to the spirit and the idea of the cosplay without sticking strictly to the source material. So doing little things like I've made a Nana Shimura from Boku no
Oh
Hero,
yeah, yeah, I
which
saw it.
I posted that way back. But there's that costume's a really good example of what I mean with that sort of being my favorite overlooked thing is that I added a lot of different elements to that costume that I think don't detract from the costume being recognizable, but also add a little bit more intricacy into at least into the building of it. And I think that kind of gets overlooked sometimes. And I'm never upset about if things get overlooked. I consider it kind of a compliment in a way that the whole thing looks so cohesive. You're not seeing individual pieces, you're seeing a whole.
Yeah, like it is like sure people may not notice every single detail of everything, but the fact that they are noticing the quality and the immersion of the cosplay, that is like a compliment in itself.
Exactly. Like that's exactly why I love the way I put together my Wally, where like, yeah, I have a lot of little details on there that I would love people to notice each individual detail, but at the same time, it's really rewarding to have people just look at the costume and see a whole effect, see a vision that I was going for overall, because that's a much more important aspect to me than people noticing each separate piece of what goes into that.
Yes, it's like this is the character. This is like the character. You are not just seeing the brightly colored this thing or like the little like mishatch of this part. You are seeing the character and you're like loving the character. That is what you're meaning.
Exactly, yeah.
Like this is the part where everybody freaks out in the podcast. I actually like you said you posted it a while back. I actually like found you a little bit before you posted a cosplay because I remember when you uploaded like that cosplay.
Yeah, I
Like
I I try not to overload with cosplay content, but it is also because I know not everybody follows me for that, but it's been very rewarding to have certain people like really latch on to liking certain cosplays of mine, and like to have that celebrated as part of what I do is wonderful
yeah.
to me.
Yeah, honestly, I say like this is the part where people freak out, but because for example, my I think second or third guest, they were like, oh, they were like literally they heard that and I've been following them for a year. They were like, oh my god, you saw the crazy shit,
Oh yeah, the early stuff.
like everything is there. But yes,
Hmm.
okay, going back to cosplay, like what is your favorite part? Like your favorite part about making the cosplays? Is it the weapons, weapons, however that is pronounced? English is not a real language. The weapons,
Oh
the
no, it's not.
clothing, the what is your favorite part of like making the cosplay in the
Um,
technical sense?
I consider myself sort of a jack of all trades. So I really enjoy having a costume involving a variety of different techniques. So I know some people like are really hardcore on doing just armor or doing just fabric builds or whatnot. And I'm a person who enjoys a lot of different things. Like I think if I limited myself to making exclusively cosplays that were just fabric or just armor and weapons, I would feel limited. I my favorite thing is having different things to bounce around to, and uh, different techniques to use, and different a different breadth of methods that I use on a cosplay. Like for example, I did a Cassandra from Dragon Age Inquisition, and a lot of people looked at that cosplay, and well, not just that cosplay, but a lot of people in the community cosplay community that I'm in Ottawa tend to consider me to be largely a fabric builder, but that's not true. Like Cassandra is was a Warbler build, so that's a type of thermoplastic. Um,
Huh?
she involved a lot of thermoplastic the first time I did her, and the second time I made that costume, it was a lot of foam work as well. And not to say that there isn't fabric involved, but there was a lot of other stuff as well. And she is she was one of the most fun builds that I've done, I think, because it was that mix of fabric and armor. It I got to push myself on two different fronts in learning new techniques. So that's the thing that I really enjoy, is just learning new things and doing a lot of different things so that I learn a lot of different things.
That is amazing. So like the saying says, jack of all trades, master of none, but better than master of one. You can just do
Exactly.
everything.
Yeah,
I
and I
actually
mean,
love that.
every once in a while, I do sort of get jealous of the idea of being a master of one thing, but at the end of the day, I don't think, at least for me, that that would be satisfying. I think a lot of my satisfaction in a lot of different things, but in cosplay especially, is having that vague degree of mastery over a lot of stuff.
Yes, like that you can make like you are confident you can make like a wider variety of cosplays and of characters because you don't specialize in just one type of build.
Exactly, yeah. It opens up a lot of doors to different cosplays I can do rather than just the armor stuff or just the fabric stuff.
Yeah, that is very cool. That is very cool. Do you go? Are you like more of like a inside cosplayer, like you do more like competition stuff and picture and all that, or are you more of a convention cosplayer? Because I know like there are like different kinds of cosplayers in the way they present in public about cosplay.
Yeah, so I do enjoy a good competition. Like I'm not gonna lie and say I'm not a competitive person. I am. I didn't know that until recently. Somebody had to inform me of that. Yeah, you think I did competitive dance for 15 years. You think I'd figured it out, but nope. So I do enjoy competition because I enjoy the push that it gives me. Um, and I also enjoy the atmosphere of it a lot because there's at least in again in my area, in some places it's very different and much more cutthroat, but in my area our whole community is all very supportive of each other, which is delightful. So it makes competition all that much better. But I also do photo shoots. I love doing photo shoots. Um, I I wouldn't consider myself to do cosplay quite in the same way as maybe like a lot of the and this I want to clarify, this is no insult to however anyone chooses to do cosplay. It's all fun, it's all great. At the end of the day, as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters, right? But
Yeah.
I don't consider myself to do cosplay the same way that a lot of maybe more popular TikTok creators in cosplay do things. Like I don't I could never get into cosplay as frequently as some of these people do, right? Like I think that's wonderful. I wish I had that sort of energy, but that's just not who I am in cosplay. I don't
Yeah, I
like
get
there's
what you mean.
yeah, there's been times I've
They're
gotten
insane.
yeah. Oh my God, there's been times I've gotten into cosplay, filmed one thing and then been like, I'm done. I'm done. I don't know what to film. I I had fun getting into the cosplay more than being in it.
Same. I think like something like everyone like that has done cosplays can relate is that you see an audio, you're like, oh, I'm gonna save this for when I'm this character, and then you just don't use it.
Oh my God, yeah. I'm sure I have a ton of Wally audios saved, but the day that I filmed that little cosplay tour, showing off all the details, I literally filmed that and nothing else.
Yeah. No, I think I have 50 like Chavo audio saved. It's the only cosplay I can do correctly, and I never use it.
It's
The joys of being a cosplayer.
oh, it's it's a great time, but also it's an exhausting time sometimes.
Yes. Like I have already spent an hour putting this makeup on. Now I have to do stuff with
Exactly. I
it.
really enjoy the process of making and getting into cosplay much more than the idea of like living in a character to any degree. I would rather like walk around at a con being myself in costume than doing skits or anything in cosplay, you know?
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. I have actually never gone in cosplay to a con because, like, as I said, I'm very much just a closet cosplayer who does TikTok and school stuff, not con level stuff. I don't have the level to go to con, but I get what you mean. I
Yeah.
prefer to just be like myself in the cosplay and just be like, hey, look, this is a character I enjoy, than having to act like the character, which, like,
Mhm.
no, no
There's
thanks.
one exception to that for me, which is that cosplay competitions, again, at least in my area, I can't speak to anywhere else, do involve a stage component if you want to do some sort of skit. And as I mentioned, I was a competitive dancer for 15 years. I love being on stage. So
Yeah.
so I love the idea of like choreographing a skit or like creating an experience for about a minute, maybe two, and then I want to get off stage. Like I love being on there, but I like the experience of creating a spectacle more than it's me enjoying being the character, you know?
Yeah, I get exactly what you mean. Like, I actually don't know what that says about me because, like, I used to do, I don't know, I haven't done it in a long time, but I used to do, like, theater and, like, musical theater for, like, 10 plus years, and now I'm just, no. Like, I get the feeling of, like, being, like, it's more about the spectacle than meaning the character you're trying to portray.
Exactly. I it's fun to be theatric.
Exactly, it's fine to be a dramatic bitch. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
that can just apply to me if you want to. It's like sprinkles. What kind
Yeah.
of dancing did you do? I did not know you were a competitive dancer. That is a very interesting fact.
Yeah, I did everything under the sun. I was trained in a lot of different Western styles of dance. So I did oh, let me rattle off the list. Tap, jazz, ballet, hip hop, lyrical, musical theater, modern, point,
Oh,
um, and contemporary. I dabbled in a few other things. Like at one point, I got invited to a dance tour thing in France where I tried out a couple of different things. Like we did Lindy Hop and street jazz and a couple other things. So I can't really say I'm trained in those, but I've dabbled around and I have all of those other styles that I did for a minimum of, I think, the one I did for the least amount of time, I think, was contemporary, and I still did that for about 6 years.
So what you're saying is you are the most like intimidating person in the jazz dance.
Maybe. Who knows? I've never played Just Dance.
Oh wait, really?
Yeah,
It is very fun.
I didn't have a lot of friends in high school.
No, me neither. That's why I'm playing Just Dance.
Fair, fair.
Like me neither. That is why I'm over here. My house playing Just Dance on a summer day.
Yeah, I didn't have it, and the few friends I had didn't have the game, so I just never got to play it.
Oh, that is why piracy is for baby.
Oh, true. I mean, you can also just pull up a YouTube and follow along, right?
Yeah, exactly. YouTube is my best friend. As someone who plays Just Dance, it's just YouTube is my best friend. We don't have money for that. We have a big TV playing that.
You can just pretend you've got the system.
Exactly. That pretend did win me a jazz dance competition once, so like it works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, going back to this topic because I got derailed.
A little bit of a tangent. That's okay.
A little bit of a tangent. They are always okay. Tangents are the worst part of math, but they are good in conversations.
Exactly.
There are no good parts in math, but I digress.
Oh, I haven't been in years.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad high school is over just because I don't have to see math again.
Exactly. Me too.
I will not miss her. Do you see math as red or blue? Like, I know that has been a discussion on TikTok. Is math red or is it blue? I think math is green.
I think I also had math in green.
That is good. Because like
I think
red,
science was blue.
Oh, I didn't have science, like science. We had like physics or biology, depending on the year you were.
Oh
And
yeah,
biology, that is blue.
I never had chemistry or biology at the same time, and I didn't take physics. So whatever I was doing at the time, if biology and chemistry both ended up blue.
Nice. No, we like because like people see math is red. Red is for like wood carving.
Oh, okay.
It is not wood carving. It's like printmaking. That is what I wanted to say because it involves carving wood. Oh, the joys of being in art school. Anyways, I go to a tangent. The word tangent made me go on a tangent. That is like the most ironic thing ever.
We love those little coincidences of language.
Yeah. Going back to the theme. Aside
Yes.
from being a cosplayer, you also do comedy skits and other skits in TikTok. Specifically, most of them are related to the Skate Infinity fandom.
Yes, indeed. Occasionally haiku, but mostly skate.
Yeah, occasionally it's haiku because like haiku is also big content.
Mm-hmm.
But like mostly skate. Were you like? Have you been watch? Did you watch Skate from the moment it came out, or were you one of the, or did you start late? Like for example, I started watching on episode 8.
I actually also started on episode 8. Ironically, though, I have a note from about, I think in November of 2019 or 2020, the November before Skate started airing. I found out about, yes. So I found out about a skateboarding anime, and I wrote a note in my phone reminding me that there was going to be a skateboarding anime, and then I promptly forgot. So yep. So I actually only started watching at episode 8 because my friend, my girlfriend at the time, but my friend Erica um, had her sister and her sister's girlfriend hanging out in the basement of her house with us, and they decided they were going to put on this episode of this anime they had been watching, and it was Skate. And and it's the episode with all the flashbacks to Teenage Cherry, and I was like,
Oh,
there it
God.
is. That's my favorite boy.
That
Uh,
is your favorite, like, not even white boy. That is just a good, like,
that's just my favorite boy.
yep.
And so I immediately from that moment latched on and was like, this is my new personality.
Yep. Like, I did that, but with Ricky.
Oh God, right? My new personality is the show, but like
Yeah.
specifically, yeah, Reki and I have a lot in common. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, no, me too. The second I saw this depressed red asshole, I was like, yeah, this is me.
That's a mood, yeah.
Like, I love him so much, but oh my God, Ricky, can you please not be relatable? It's becoming worrying.
Yeah, yeah, I hear ya.
It's becoming like, he's a chill dude. Like, he will become suicidal in the last episode. You, no.
Yeah, every episode that I watched of that show, I more and more was like, Reki is just me when I was 17.
Yeah. Ricky's a call out to every single teenager.
Oh, absolutely.
And then Mia is just there with a gremlin, and I love him. You actually have, like, you're one of the you're the last of the I'm read because you actually think that Mia has good parents.
I do. I am not a fan of the idea that he has neglectful parents. Like, I understand how it happened. I understand that a lot of the fandom is pretty young, right? And I know
Yeah.
that basically there's a lot of kids who see Mia and see themselves in them in Mia, and they kind of project their own experiences on, which is great. I love when people can see themselves in fictional characters and use that as sort of like some sort of coping mechanism to their own experience. I did that too when I was 13. It's great. It can be very helpful. But as in my situation that I am now as an adult human, I don't find that to be a compelling story for Mia. I think
Yeah.
it's much more interesting to imagine that he has a very loving family that for some reason or another cannot be involved in a way that makes them privy to everything that's going on. And I shared a bit of a headcanon that one of my followers had commented on a video ages ago about maybe his mother working for Adam. And that's
I saw that. That is a very
right,
cool idea.
right? And I love how that could potentially play into like not only that Mia feels like he can't say anything, but it also would directly cause situations where he would be covering it up in order to protect him or his parents.
Yeah.
I think it's a fascinating idea, and I personally for myself find that a much more interesting thing to consider than just he has neglectful parents.
Yeah.
But I also
like, I'm sorry.
yes.
Go on.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say, I understand how for another portion of this fandom, it is equally as interesting to them to see him as not having great parents because that is more reflective of those people's circumstances.
No, I just think this one of has daddy issues, and they saw Joe, and they were like, "You need a child."
Yeah.
No, like
I
like what I was gonna say, like Mia have we have one scene when we see his parents, and they are being supportive in that scene. So like, okay.
yeah. Yeah, we also ultimately don't know a lot about them, right? Like it's really hard to know a character from one scene. So I am in no way firm on like you have to believe the same things as I do. Anybody who's ever ever heard me talk about anything fandom related knows that that's just not my view on things. Everybody's entitled to to feel the way they do about certain characters and believe certain things, and I'm not going to step on anyone's toes. The point of fandom is always to have fun, and I'm never
Yeah.
going to squash whatever it is that lets somebody else have fun. Um, and for if somebody likes the idea of his parents being a certain way based on that one scene, great. If somebody else disagrees, equally as great. I'm sure there's interesting things in the way both sides see it.
Yeah. I don't personally think that, but people I just like that Joe.
Yeah. I
Like,
I appreciate Joe so deeply because he really did. I don't necessarily see him as a dad. I see him as like an older brother. Because he loves those kids, but he doesn't want to be
yeah,
responsible for
no.
them.
Like, yeah,
Um,
no, like the wiki page is like glorious when you go through it with that angle, because Joe is like, when they describe Cherry and Joe at it like very deeply. They describe the relationship they have with people, and they are like, oh, they're best friends. The wiki is okay with that. They describe Cherry as cold and be like, he doesn't like, he cares about the kids, but and then they are like, Joe sees them as his kids. I think the wiki is biased.
oh, I think so for sure. The wiki is written by the fandom, and the fandom sure is
Yep.
biased.
Yep. That's hilarious.
So much fun. I love all of these characters so deeply because there's so many different ways to interpret all the ways they interact with each other, and it's just fabulous.
Me too. But like my favorite character in general is like, people don't agree with me on this, but I really like the job manager. Like Oka.
Oh my God, okay, yeah, he's wonderful.
Like
He is
he,
he is the most supportive character in that. Like, not that Joe isn't also supportive, but Oka has Oka doesn't have to deal with any of this bullshit. He has no
exactly.
obligation in any way, and he's still there, still helping out.
Exactly. He's like Oka Sorokian was like, bitch, you're not responsible enough. And you need somebody. And he just went with his tiny dog and was like, I'm going to protect them. I love him so much.
Oh, he's wonderful. He deserves more love in this fandom.
Yes, he does. I also love his fox.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
so fox.
sketchy.
Yes, Sketchy. I was like
So
thinking
cute.
Fennec, but Fennec is just the type of fox.
Yeah, and sketchy is a fennec fox.
Yeah, Sketchy. I love like he has a shop called Sketch Skateboards, and he just calls his animal after the shop. That is
Yeah,
dedication.
it's so cute. He loves that little fox with all his heart and soul. That's how you can tell he's
We
a
all
good
love
guy.
that little fox with all our hearts and souls.
Except
We
for
all
maybe
love that.
Reki. Reki probably doesn't.
Ricky acts like he doesn't like Sketchy, but let's be real, he would die for Sketchy.
Probably.
Ricky would just,
Oh,
yep.
excuse me.
Ooh. You okay?
Yeah, I apologize. I have chronic hiccups.
Yeah, don't worry, don't worry. I actually have a cold right now, so like I don't have a right to say anything about anybody's voice or anything like that happens while they talk right now.
We're all good. No
Mm,
worries.
yep, exactly. So like going back to that, you had like a whole series making sad headcanons and also happy like headcanons about the Skate Infinity. What are like your top 5 headcanons that you made for that series?
Oh my gosh. Sorry, just to clarify here, my favorite headcanons in general or from a series, which series was it?
Skate, like in
Okay,
general.
so just my general skate headcanons. Okay. Um, so I am very firm about the Joe has two moms.
Yes.
I love that one with all my heart and soul because it just feels right. I have
That
no evidence for it in the text, but it just feels right.
he
Um,
drinks too much respect woman juice to not have two moms.
exactly. No one pulls that many ladies without having two moms.
Exactly. Because like ladies just don't not that many women will go to like a douchebag.
Exactly. The other one I already mentioned the Mia and his mother working for
Yes.
Adam. That is probably one of my favorite ones.
I love that one
Uh,
too. It's very interesting. The possible dynamics just.
I think it just adds so much to the story. It's really makes me very happy.
Yeah.
Even though it's kind of horrible, but it's
Yeah. It's like, mom, you work for a possible pedophile.
yeah, it's yikes, but it's also very interesting, and that the interest is why it
Yeah.
makes me happy.
Yep.
Um, and I think, oh god, if I was to pick a third one, I did a little kind of series of videos a while back. Somebody asked me about what I think Joe's skateboard before Soul looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And it launched into this, like, I think I made 3 different videos about it. And what I had come up with for the original design of Joe's board was the palm trees, and then he had people sign it. Um,
Aww.
and yeah, I thought it was very cute. Like anybody that he would ever beef against, he'd have them sign the bottom of his board. Um, and um, I don't know if I ever put it in the video, but I had in my head that the reason that that was his board design was that he had been gifted a board with this like terrible design that he could not stand on it, so he just painted it pink. And Cherry saw this blank board and was like, "This will not stand. I will not let this
Nice.
be." And so he's the one to have put the palm trees on it. And
I love that.
I just think it's really cute, and I again have no evidence for it, but I kind
It
of
is
those are some
fitting,
of
you
my
know?
yeah, and I have this soft spot in my heart for these headcanons that don't have any evidence, right? That it's just like me or other people just going off the walls and deciding something that we're gonna believe about the show based on what makes us happy.
Yes.
So I
Like,
think those are
everything
some of
much
my
of Blossom
favorites.
is just happiness.
Oh, right? There's if I can't have what they have, then I don't
Yeah.
want it.
That is why I'm a romantic. Because I know no matter how much I look, I will never have what those two have for each other.
They're just very sweet, and I have a soft spot
Yes.
in my heart for like best friends as kids,
Yeah.
and we know
Okay.
that they were best friends when they were children.
Exactly. They were like so close.
It makes my heart so full.
Honestly. And okay, weird question. Do you prefer the Skate Infinity sub or dub?
Oh, great question. I
That is because like in every other anime it would be like very much, oh no, I watch it sub for most people. But Skate Infinity is the only anime I know where even I love the dub, and like it is glorious.
I think wow, God, the dub is so good, and I think there's a few animes in which I prefer the dub, not necessarily for the reason that I think the dub is inherently better, like it has better voice acting or whatever. That's
Oh.
usually not the case. But for certain shows that are meant to or rather, I guess the way I should phrase it is for shows where the way that characters speak is a lot of how the character comes across. I think dubs are really important and really good to have, right? Like the other one that comes to mind is Haikyuu, where and I know some people disagree with me on this and think that the dub is horrible, but I love the Haikyuu dub because it gives the kids teenage language, and that really helps
Okay,
bring
that
across.
sounds so cool. That sounds so cool. Actually, I have not seen Haikyuu. I have seen 2 episodes. I am
It's
trying to start it. They took it out on like Netflix where I live.
it's really good, and the dub does a really good job of making them speak in a way that sounds right for teenagers. And the skate dub does a similar thing of making the dialogue sound right for the age that the characters are and the circumstances in which the characters grew up, right? Like
Yes, it feels
Joe
natural.
and Cherry speak like millennials because they are. There's
Yes, they
yeah,
do.
they're my age. Like the fact that Joe at some point says, "I'm not adulting today," that's a thing I have said in my life, and so I just think they do a really good job of telling you who the characters are through their speech in a way that you don't necessarily get in the sub, because subs tend to be a little bit more of a literal
Formal?
translation. They're not actually
Yeah.
literal, because that would sound wild, but they're a little bit more literal, and sometimes you can lose intention through that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like for example, I love how like Shadow speaks like he's an old man, but he speaks like he wants to be younger than he is.
Yeah, exactly. And like the way that his mannerisms in his speech change when he's Shadow versus when he's Hiromi.
Yes, yes,
I think that's something that you could lose very easily if you're only reading subs, versus like in the dub
exactly.
you really get that because it's so distinct. And if
I
you
had actually not realized that in the sub.
yeah, I'm sure if you're a native Japanese speaker, it probably comes across that way in Japanese, but as a person who doesn't speak Japanese and has to be reading subtitles, that sort of would get missed if I didn't have the dub to give me that understanding. The intention of having these different manners of speaking comes across better in a language where I don't have to read subtitles for it, right?
Exactly. I also think we all just fell over our feet when we saw the bitches and bros and don't mind that repeat.
Oh god, end me. That was so fucking funny. Oh, I apologize. I just said I don't know if I'm allowed to swear.
You can't swear. I was just
Okay.
like I just added a peep for comedic effect. You can
Okay.
swear.
Okay. Because I
Actually,
immediately afterwards said fuck, and I was like, oh.
I'm going to say is that we had, as I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, we had like problems, and I just said fuck with all my lungs. So of course you're allowed to swear.
Okay,
It's
good.
encouraged. It's encouraged.
I'm Canadian. We have to, or we fall apart.
I'm Argentinian. I absolutely understand the sentiment.
We just can't not swear.
Exactly. We over here we get very creative with the way we swear. Oh, okay, we were talking about the dub. I just love how
Yeah.
like the voice actors of Cherry and Joe are just carrying, just they're carrying us.
Oh god, Damon Mills and Jonah Scott. God bless their souls.
Yes. Yes, I didn't know what to say actually because I was like, I know what is called Jonah, but the only thing in my brain right is Jonah Hill. That is not the name.
Oh,
That
that's
is
a
a
different
Hermit
person.
member.
I would, however, pay money to see a skate dub where Jonah Hill plays Joe.
Ooh, why?
Because that'd be hysterical.
That would be hilarious. Such a thirsty gorilla.
Sometimes I just want to watch the world burn, you know?
Yeah, the wheel. That would be like so funny. I would just sit for a dramatic read of them just reading the like Skate Infinity script, doing different voices for the characters. I would just watch that if they did it.
Well, they've been one of them at least has been doing some voice lines with a British accent, and it's wonderful.
Oh my god. Yes. The day they do Cindereki in English, that is the day I will be lost to the world.
Oh, we can only hope.
We
I
can
don't know
only
if they
hope.
ever will, but we can hope.
I doubt so, but that is such like Cindereki is the definition of a fanfic. And
Oh,
they just did
absolutely.
it for the official CD. And we're all over here just being like, okay, when is it gonna be for us? And they
Mm-hmm.
just said no.
The thing that gets me is that exists, and some people think that Skate was queer baiting us. That's a wild
Yeah.
concept to me.
Yeah, no, people were like, oh, Skate Infinity Square rating. I am sorry. Have you seen the Cinderella AU they put in the official CD?
Mm-hmm. And there is a big difference between queer coding and queer baiting, which is a whole discussion.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a whole other
Exactly.
discussion I could talk about for ages and ages, but
You're
there's a
allowed to.
difference.
We have time.
Well, I mean,
It's not that
I
we don't
could
have
go into
time.
it.
It's not that we
The,
don't
the
have time.
the way I always like I was talking to my mother about this at one point. The way I describe the difference between like basically how we know that Skate was queer coding and not queer baiting is the fact that they put in things like, at least, the fact they put in references to very well-known queer media, like other queer anime, right? Like they have a Yuri on Ice reference, they have a Banana Fish reference, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like if a movie from Hollywood included the line "I wish I knew how to quit you," because that is a very direct reference to a very well-known piece of gay media.
Which
It
one?
would be
Like,
Brokeback Mountain.
I have no watched Brokeback Mountain.
Okay, well, it's fairly well known. I would say like
No, I know it. I was never
okay.
allowed to watch it as a kid, and now only just did it dawn upon me that I don't have to ask permission to watch things now. It just
Ooh,
dawned
how
on me.
exciting! Brokeback Mountain is a hell of a movie, but that's again another discussion. But like there's a line in the movie that is "I wish I knew how to quit you," and it's a very very famous line that everybody knows is from Brokeback Mountain. So if a Hollywood movie were to put that line in between two male characters or two female characters or you know
Yes, it
any
would be
person,
like obvious that
you'd
it's a reference to that.
exactly, and you'd immediately understand that you are meant to see these characters as some variety of queer, right? And
Exactly.
and that's what the Yuri on Ice and Banana Fish references do in Skate, essentially, is that they try to draw these parallels so that there can be no question that that's how you're supposed to read these characters. And I understand that if you hold it up to Western standards, yeah, there's some ambiguity. But the fact of the matter is it's not Western and it's not meant to read for a Western audience. It's meant to read for a Japanese audience, and we just get the privilege of enjoying that over here. So
Exactly.
it's important to maintain context, and I think the context of Skate is that if you look at the references it's making, it is very clearly queer coded, not queer baiting.
Yes, I actually that is something what you just said about like that is not made for us, like that to us will not read that way, but to a Japanese person it will. It just reminded me of something that I hate, and it's when people actually complain that it's a romance anime. In episode 100, they only hold hands. Yes, but how do they interact with each other aside from the holding hands? Why do you care about how they express the relationship rather than the relationship itself?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
It's so bad.
there's so much to be said on that, and like God, if I go on this tangent, I'm gonna get way off topic, and I don't want to get too
Hey, this is a
far off.
canon podcast. We can literally talk about whatever we want.
Well, okay. So the thing I'm thinking is, I just started watching The Untamed, so I definitely don't know the entire story yet, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of censorship in that show because it's from China, right? And there's only certain yeah. So there's only certain things you can put on TV. And it's really interesting watching that show and being able to tell the places basically where they've taken something out from the source material, because it's based on a book series. And you can kind of tell there's these moments where like, oh, they took out a kiss there. And or at least that's how I read it. Because I also spoiled it for myself, and I know kind of how things progress for these characters. And you can see those places, and you can see the ways in which it's differently coded, and you have to look at the cultural context to understand, like, oh, they're still trying to hint things to us. They're still trying to let us know, even though they can't let us know.
Exactly. It's like maybe they cannot say it explicitly, but like if you have two brain cells, like we say here, if you have two fingers on your forehead, you should be able to understand it.
Yeah, exactly. If you have two brain cells to start a fire.
Exactly. We didn't start the fire. We have only one.
Yep.
No, but especially Craig. Craig has
oh
zero.
God. Yeah, Craig's running on empty.
Craig thought the Craig Slander had stopped. It has not. Okay, but like especially like I remember watching Skate. I was like so convinced. Like I was like, hey, these guys like each other, and like I immediately noticed that the difference between queerbaiting and queer coding specifically is the way other characters react to the relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's sort of like the understanding from everybody else that, like every other character, that like, oh yeah, these two are the most important people to each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is like matcha blossom.
Oh my god, yeah, to a T.
I love them. I love them. I was not watching Skate, but I knew everything about matcha blossom.
Yeah, I luckily once I knew about the series, I managed to keep up with it. So like I was up to date on all the things like Joe the art that came out of Joe princess carrying Cherry after he got decked.
Yeah, me too. It was.
And then it came
It was
through.
gold.
Oh god, it was everything we could have asked for.
It was like just Joe's reaction to Cherry getting absolutely wrecked by that skateboard. That was like that is your reaction if your best friend gets hit. It would be similar, but it would not be that. Mm.
There was a tenderness there that was very
Exactly,
very telling.
exactly. That is the word. Like he was so like he made an instant switch between being like mad at Adam and being like so tender with Cherry, and I was like, this is a fan fiction. It reads like one because it is very gay.
To quote TikTok, oh
Like,
my god, these bitches gay.
good for them. Good for them. Like something queer just happened to them.
Something so LGBT.
Yeah, honestly. It's like LGB dropped the T on since when are you two married? 20 years, okay.
God, they're so married. I know that they're not actually because I looked into it in the laws in Okinawa. They can't actually be married. They can get a certificate, but anyway, they're married.
They are married. They are married. Fuck. Like I don't care what is legal in Japan. This is my headcanon. They are fucking married. In
Oh
every
God,
sense of the world.
I do have this like vague headcanon that I go back and forth on whether or not I actually kind of believe it to some degree, but they traveled the world together. They could have gotten married elsewhere, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. Like all the countries we know they visited together are countries where gay marriage is legal. Take that as you will. Like I have to say
Exactly.
that. If you seriously tell me they never went to a courthouse in one of those many nations, you're lying to yourself.
Right? It wouldn't take much.
And I know how people try to deny this by being, oh, by Joe likes woman. Bisexuality exists. So does
Open
polyamory.
relationships exist.
Exactly. And so does murder if you don't shut up. like, like seriously. There are so many different explanations. Like,
Yep.
Jerry has whatever the fuck is going on with Carla. You don't question the fact that he's gay.
Yeah, listen, he's married to Joe, he's also married to Carla. Both can be true.
Like, I love like seriously, like the audio of like being like he's my boyfriend and he's Derek's boyfriend, John. That is them.
Yeah, I made that video.
Yeah, exactly. It's what I was about to say. I was like, wait, you made that video?
That was me.
Like, I think I just explained something to you. Oh my god. Something weird just happened there. Exactly. I think like that is the curse of seasonal anime. That it is very popular for the 3 months is on air and then it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I honestly think like I have this whole theory that the whole reason why My Hero Academia has been able to be on top for so long is because we have a new season every year and because the manga is still going strong. It is a marketing ploy. If not, it wouldn't be as popular as it is.
Yeah, and I mean not to say that it's not also very good.
No, it is a very good series. It is like it dominated my life for 3 years for a reason, but like
constant content does keep a fandom alive.
Yeah, like because before like it is like either constant content or the wonder why is it gone. Like that is why Tokyo Ghoul is not popular anymore. Because it was like the constant, hey, where is the third season? Or oh, the third season is going to drop here. Or there is a fan-made trailer. It was like the constant when is it they wonder when is it going to drop that kept it alive, and now it's gone. I think the same happens to Infinity. It's the because it was only one season for 3 months. It was very popular. A bit after that too, but then it just kind of like season anime. A new season came and new people. The
Yep.
people went to a new show.
And there wasn't the anticipation of another thing coming. Because I
Exactly,
don't
because
think
it
we
was an
got
original.
Yeah, and I don't think we got that confirmation that they're working on another project until the summer, I want to say, like well past the original air
Yeah,
date.
exactly. It was very much like a late coming to like
Yeah.
the news. What I do love is that they still made official content even after the first hype had died down. For example, the Halloween special content, which
Oh boy.
bamboozled all of us.
Oh boy, there's so much to say about that, none of which I'm gonna say.
None of us we are going to say, of course. It's just like I just like to mention it for people who know what it is to just look at their screens with a dead stare and hate me for a week because I reminded them that that happened.
Yep. All I can say about that is someone at Skate headquarters is having a good time and all the power to them.
Somebody either got fired or got a raise. I don't know which one.
Yep. Somebody
I
got a
just now
talking
realized your
to.
profile picture is a platypus and I love that.
Yeah. The story of my little platypus icon here is that for the longest time I didn't have any sort of icon on Discord, and the aforementioned Erica got got frustrated with it and told me she was going to change my picture for me if I didn't do it. So I changed it to a middle. I changed it to a middle finger and then went. Nah.
Nice. Nice. You were just it's like, okay, let's make a mammal who puts eggs, looks like a beaver, has duck feet, and those duck feet, yeah, they have poison on them.
I mean, you got to be able to defend yourself from the drop
Yeah.
wars.
Yeah, honestly. I honestly don't think platypus would be half as popular as they are today as if without Phineas and Ferb.
Oh, probably not. I think we all have a soft spot in our hearts because of it.
Yes. I love just how they were like, we need to put something as the pet that kids cannot adopt so they don't die en masse. And they just put something that is venomous.
Yep.
And just,
Something you really shouldn't have as a pet.
yes, and it's just a broken thing from the earth that we all just love because they're cute.
At least when they're little, they're very cute.
Yes. When they're older, they're terrifying.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yep. Back to Skate. Do you think? I really think I just have thought about that. Ricky would 100% be the kind of kid who watched Phineas and Ferb and was like, "Can you platypus?" And his mom just looked at him with dead eyes and was like, "Ricky, please eat your broccoli."
Absolutely not. Now please return to the normal world with the rest of us and
Yes,
go do your chores.
exactly. But like, I believe he would say it like the most unfortunate time ever. Like they will literally just be eating something in dinner with like the when he was very little and he was like refusing to eat, and to distract his mom, he was like, "Mom, can we have a platypus if I eat this?" And his mom was just like, without thinking, was like, "You know what? Yes." And then she just gave him a stuffed platypus to get out of it. Not even a good one, a cheap stuffed platypus of the arcade kind ones, but bought online, just so he would shut up.
Oh. God, my mom once took a trip to Antarctica, and I'd asked her to bring me back a penguin, and she brought me back a little USB shaped as a penguin, and I mean, I got a penguin, I guess.
Yes, you got a penguin. That is true. I'm just projecting onto Ricky being like the kid who made his mom tired, but not because he was bad, just because that kid has way too much energy now. I would like to see Ricky as a child.
Oh, that kid definitely has attention deficit. Nobody can tell me otherwise.
Oh, you
And
know, he's an ADHD bitch.
oh yeah, and he absolutely exhausted the hell out of his parents.
Yes. Actually, like my twin is like a Ricky Kitty, and they have told me multiple occasions, Ricky has ADHD, yes, but he's autistic just like Langa. And I'm like, okay, yeah, checks out.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen that headcanon around as well. It I don't think it's necessarily one I ascribe to, but it's again falls under my like, hey, I want everybody to have a good fucking time, and hey, if you see it, hell yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like, let's just project into characters and I like that. Like, for headcanons and that kind of stuff, they always depend on who you are as a person because of how you relate to characters because of that. And I love that.
Exactly. There's a
Like,
wonderful like it's wonderful how you can see differences, nuance, like there's so much open to interpretation in fictional characters that's just wonderful.
exactly, exactly. It's like, that's nice. There is a good medium point for everyone.
Yeah, and we
Some
just
people don't
have
want to
to
accept that, but like,
exactly. We just have to all be respectful of the fact we all have different opinions on these things.
exactly. Exactly. Like, we all have different opinions, and that is fine. Let's just don't attack kids just because they don't share your same headcanon.
Yep.
You know? Especially since, like, the most, when people talk about toxic, they usually talk about the adults in the fandom that don't want anyone else to have fun.
Yeah. I mean, God, there was only a brief stint, as far as I can see, of toxicity in the skate fandom, and I found it was largely just to do with people kind of not respecting each other's boundaries and also not understanding that this is fiction and we're all just trying to have fun and that's going to look
Exactly.
different for everyone. And
Exactly.
as long as people give you warning of, hey, this is the manner in which I'm having fun with this idea, and you have a chance to opt in or out, if you're warned, you have to curate your own experience. You have to understand when something is and is not meant for you.
Exactly, exactly. That is exactly how it should be. Like, for example, this podcast, right? It has a slogan: by fans, for fans. We're just nice here to everyone, no matter the haircut they have about their fandoms, because, like, for what this is for, you know?
We're all just here to have a good time.
It's like there's this saying in AO3 that I love that is, I will never read your fic, but I will defend to death your right
You're
to post
right.
it.
Exactly. It's dead dove do not eat. I've warned you what's in
Exactly.
here. If you don't like it, that you know.
Exactly.
I've given you the warning so you can avoid it. And I think people have to be aware of that. That especially that like sometimes the ideas that people are having fun with are not always pure. They're not always morally right. But the reason that with okay, obviously um Adam and Longa, get that shit out of here. No, I'm sorry.
Yes, no,
Full
no,
stop.
that is honestly no, that is
Yeah.
I will be with you on that one. I
Yeah.
just I will not interact with that ever.
Yeah. Full stop. Eden shipping. Nope. No, thank you.
Yep,
However,
nope.
outside of that, you can
Go
write the
for it.
weirdest, most dark, fucked up shit. Whatever you want, go for it. Because this is fiction. It's not hurting anyone.
Exactly.
It might not be something I want to see, but if you've warned me, I can get the hell out. I'm an adult and
What
I know that if this isn't meant for me.
I do like people who use like Adam as the villain and his obsession with Langa for like cool stuff, but I don't like people who actively ship them. Like, if
Yeah.
you're going to do something that involves the two of them, at least admit that it is dark and don't put in like don't ship them. Why are you
Yep.
shipping them?
Yep. That's more than a little weird, my dudes.
Exactly. Like, no. Like, no, 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 thank you. And
Yep.
then,
Full stop.
like, seriously, it's like if anyone who's watching this either is like an Ellen shipper or a puppy Twitter, you can just go. This is not a place for you. A fruit snack on your way out. No, no, you're not. No, you don't deserve a fruit snack. You don't even deserve a fruit snack on your way out. Just go
Why do
away.
I have a feeling that fruit snack thing is a reference to another TikToker?
Oh, you if you know what that is. Yes.
Oh, I know.
I'm sorry. I just it's a steam. I just I mimic. It's a way of steaming. It just I mimic
I
stuff.
understand. I understand. I'm poking fun for fun. Don't worry.
No, no, no. I know. I'm just it's like it's that is something that I actually like to explain to people because a lot of people don't know that way of stimming for a lot of people with ADHD is to store small noises and mimic them, and that includes phrases.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why I believe S.A. Average Kirito makes so many references. The bitch is steaming.
Solid interpretation. I like it.
Yes. I love S.A. Average so much. Do you know what it is?
Is SAO, so Sword Art Online, right?
Yes.
Yeah, not my cup of tea, unfortunately. I've watched a
No, no,
fair
no.
amount
It's
of
the abridged
SAO, but
series. It's the abridged series of Sword
oh,
Art
the
Online.
abridged series. Okay, no, I haven't seen the
But it
abridged.
is genius. It is just it's the only abridged series I actually like on YouTube right now.
There's some good abridged out there.
Oh
50%
no,
off
I don't
is
think no. I know it. That is another headcanon that I have comes from there actually. Is that Reki loses everything.
oh, 100%.
Like it is not even funny anymore
Well,
for him.
he's got his wrench for his trucks hanging off of his belt, and I'm convinced he has it there because if he left it anywhere else, it would just be gone.
Exactly. He knows if he just puts it on his desk or on a rack or something, that bitch is disappearing. So he just, you know what? Let's not risk it. And just
Just
poof.
attach it to myself. Like a
Exactly.
lesbian with carabiners on keys. Nope, keys on carabiners.
Exactly. Okay, so Ricky definitely gives his wrench there just so he doesn't lose it because he knows he's capable of it and wrenches are expensive.
Mm-hmm. Definitely they are.
And with that, our episode comes to an end. Again, this was my first time editing audio. I am very excited about it. I'm also very nervous that some parts were corrupted. We had to cut a lot of stuff out, but it was still very fun to do. Still very fun to record, and it was still a very good episode. Remember, Fankas Podcast, it is recorded every Sunday live at twitch.tv/HatsuiCast. You can also find us on Instagram as HatsuArt, Hatsu_art, on Twitter as Fankas Podcast_. See you later!